Hey everyone, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mina, and you already know by the title that today's video is going to be a first impressions / review on the new Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. She collabed with Morphe to make these eyeshadow palettes. I'm thinking of doing maybe one palette per video, so that way each palette gets its own fair review. And I wanted to do it on camera and do it together, so that way you guys can judge and determine if this palette is right for you or if they're even worth buying. Throughout the video, I'll be giving a little bit more information about each palette. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of controversy going on about these palettes, so I said, why not do a video and let's judge them ourselves. If you're not already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and let's get on with the video.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Alright, so before we get started, I just wanted to throw this out there. I know the setup looks a little different. The camera quality might look different, and it's only because I had a problem with my camera. I accidentally dropped my lens, so I had to have it shipped out, so that way they can fix it, take a look at it, replace it, whatever needs to be done. So the show must go on, and I came up with an alternative plan. So hopefully this works out as much as I think it's going to work out, but I will get back to my normal setup pretty soon. So for today's first review, we're going to be reviewing Bling Boss. And so the color scheme of this one is more like purpley, mauve tones. It looks like this. Now I did swatch from the palettes just to see how they swatched and applied. A swatch is always different than when you're doing it with your fingers rather than a brush, because since your fingers naturally have oils on them, you know, all these shimmery shades are going to swatch like beautifully, but it can be a different story once we do it with our brush. I already have my lids primed. I did go in with a light eyebrow and light foundation, you know, all of that, just because I didn't want to take away from what the palettes are going to do. I do know that they produce quite a bit of fallout just by looking at other people's videos. So just to prepare ourselves, I wanted to put a little bit of loose setting powder under our eyes to catch any fallout. And I'm using by Blend. This is the loose setting powder. And so I'm just going to apply it right under my eyes. Like I said, just to catch any fallout. My shirt is going to be loaded with setting powder. That's okay. Just wipe it away. I already did prime my lids, if I didn't say that already before. And so let's go in. Like I said, I haven't tried the palettes yet, so it's all very new to me. I'm trying to think, you know, what type of look we're going to do. And I think I'm going to go in with this shade right here, Hush Hush. It's literally the lightest shade in the palette. But I'm going to use that as a transition color. Just taking it on a regular brush. I'm going to do my eyeshadow how I normally would. You know, when I use shimmers, I always spray my brush, so that's something I will be doing. I'm not going to go in and try to do it dry if it's something I know I don't do. I'm not going to set the palette up for failure if it's not something that I already do. So just on a, this is a Morphe M441, just a fluffy blending brush. I'm taking some of the eyeshadow on the brush, and I'm just going to apply this to the crease. And already I do see some color payoff, so that's good. There's not much fallout on the palette, which is also very good. I've seen some people's that just crumble. So I'm just going to lay this in the crease, because this is going to be our transition, our blending shade. So far so good. There's the color payoff, which is nice. The only thing I can complain about this palette right now is already I see that there's not a shade that's light enough for my brow bone or my inner corner of my eye. So that is a minus. But I mean, if you put the palettes together, you'll be fine. But for the sake of the video, all the shades that I use on my eyes, I just want to stick to this one palette. Alright, I don't know if the color's picking up on the camera, but it's definitely showing up in person. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Rockstar, which is like a very burgundy toned berry color. Again, plenty of color payoff on the brush, not too much on the palette, pretty normal for eyeshadows. And again, I'm going to hit this in the crease. A lot of color payout. You definitely want to go in with the light hand. So that is my mistake. I just wanted to see if it was going to coat the brush, but it's okay. We'll fix it. I just want to deepen the crease. I'm not worried about this down here because I'm going to end up covering it. I'm worried more about the crease and up. I do see a little bit of patchiness right in here. Some parts are darker than others. But like I said, it could be because I went in with a heavy hand. I'm going to wipe some of the color off the brush here. And I'm going to just continue to blend that out and see if that goes away. There's already fallout. You could see it on the setting powder, which is a good thing we laid the setting powder down because you don't want to ruin what you've already got done. Okay. Yeah, I am seeing some patchiness throughout here. But like I said, it just could be that I went in with a heavy hand. When I do the other eye, I'll for sure know that I need to ease up a bit. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Mystic, which is the darkest shade in the palette. Well, there's Berry Treasure, but it's kind of glittery, so, I mean, you decide. But I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and I'm going to focus it more on the outer corner. Again, a lot of color payout, which is nice. Like I said, just focusing it on the outside of the corner of the eye. Very patchy, very patchy. And the color's on the brush, but I don't really see it transferring to the eyelid. I mean, even the second color laid down here still looks darker than what we did up here. So, maybe if I just pat it on. I'm going to switch a brush and see if that's what it is. Yeah, that color is not even really showing up, but like I said, it could just be because that heavy hand that I had at first, but we won't really know till I do the second eye. Alright, so I'm thinking for this eye we're gonna do a cut crease. That's the only way I could think of how I can clean this up right now without going in and taking a makeup wipe and spraying all over. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna turn this into a cut crease. Just so I can clean up some of that darkness on there, and then hopefully we can fix the look. But right now, like I said, that dark shade is not really doing anything. So let's go ahead and cut this and see if we can fix it from here. Okay, so we have our crease cut. I'm gonna go in now with a lighter shade, and I'm gonna take, let's see, let's go in with Glitz and Glam, which is very similar to Bling Bling. Bling Bling has a little bit of a pinkish tone, where Glitz and Glam is more like a champagne. So I'm just picking some up on the brush. And again, I'm going to spray it with some Fix Plus, something I always do. I don't ever go in with a dry brush with my shimmer, so I always pat at first. So this is, like I said, I'm doing what I normally do. I'm not giving the palette a fair chance. So this color does apply nicely. I do see the shimmer, I see the color pay off. I'm going to go in just a little bit on my finger and see if it intensifies it, which it does. Definitely makes it more intense. I've seen previous videos where the shimmers just don't work, and the controversy behind these palettes is that, so first they were launched in June, and then they were recalled because people were saying the palettes were not pressed correctly, they were loose, that the quality wasn't good. So supposedly they recalled all those palettes that were sold, which I'm pretty sure the only ones that were sold were in Vegas when they did the launch for them. They recalled all of them, and any ones that were already ready to go out, they were recalled, they were destroyed, and then they produced all new palettes, which relaunched again around the 14th of August. So people are, you know, there's the controversy saying that people, that they never destroyed them, that all they did was give them new batch codes. So a lot of people are saying, you know, that their palettes are not that great. And I'll admit there is one palette that's a little sketch because they have sticker batch codes over the box, whereas the rest of them are printed on. And even that one box, the ingredients are listed differently, and then there's a sticker over it with different ingredients. So that box is the one that I'm like a little bit sketch about. But again, we'll get to it together to see if it's good or not. But so far this shimmer shade is good. I'm going to go back in again with Mystic, which is the dark color that didn't really show up. And I'm going to, again, go ahead and apply it to the outside corner. And as you can see, it's coming in now. It could be because the concealer was a little wet still. But it is changing color. Like I said, I don't know if it's because the concealer is wet. But now I'm just gonna pat it again. It did get a little darker, so it did change color. Alright, so I'm gonna go back in with the color Rockstar, which was the medium color that we laid down. I'm gonna not take as much on my brush this time. Use that to blend, and that color is so beautiful. Okay, so a lighter hand works better. It didn't change color. The dark one changed color a little bit, which is a little weird. But, like I said, it could be because the concealer is wet. If not, I mean, so far that's the only, like, bad shade, I guess you could say. It's not bad, it's just learning to work with it. Now I'm going to go in with Bling Boss right here and use that on my inner corner of my eye. Bling Boss is the, Bling Boss. Bling Bling. Spray it with the Fix Plus. And let's apply it to the inner corner of our eye. Oh yeah, it is a little different. Like I said, this one's more pinky iridescent, whereas the other one is definitely more of a champagne tone. So there's 4 palettes. Each one, you have the option to buy them from Morphe.com or in Morphe stores as a vault together for $49. And then you have the option to buy the palettes individually through Ulta at $15 each, which is just what I did. I just used Ulta points, so I didn't really pay anything for them. But yeah, I got individually for $15 each, which is not bad for a palette with 10 shades. Which is not bad for a palette that has 10 shades. Like I said, there's just a lot of controversy around the palettes themselves. So far it's not bad. I mean, I could definitely deal with it. The ones that I have used are good, except for the Mystic shade. But I mean, one shade out of an entire palette is not bad. Yeah, it's just that one shade, which is kind of weird to me. But, I mean, up here, you could see some separating from the colors. But like I said, it could be because I went in with that heavy hand at first. Try to blend them out. Let's see if that helps a little bit. So, yeah, definitely a little bit of patchiness up here, too. But, it's not that bad. Now that I know to go in with a little bit of a lighter hand, I kind of want to do this eye together so that way we can see. And I don't know, let's use the other shades in the palette and let's do a different color for the other eye and see what changes or if the rest of the shades are good. So I'm gonna go again with the shade Hush Hush just because it's the lightest shade, and it's just a good transition shade. But overall, I mean, the color scheme of this palette, it really is beautiful. Like, I love it. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Sparks, which is more of a brick tone red. That one doesn't have much fallout. So, let's just keep, but there's a lot of color payoff. I didn't put that much on the brush there, but pressing this and keeping it more on the outside of the eye. This one is a matte, but I see some, no, it's a matte. I just got some of the glitz and glam on it. I have seen videos where they say, you know, because of layering the matte shades that it makes them hard to blend. I said, I've seen some of the palettes work for people, and I've seen some of them not work for people. So let's just see here. As I'm blending, I see that the color is kind of fading away. It's not as intense, so it's probably a color that needs to be built up, which is fine. For primer, I just used the Urban Decay, just the original, the primer potion. It's sometimes I'll use that, or sometimes I'll use concealer. So nothing totally different. Like I said, I just usually do what I would normally do. Okay, so that color's nice. It's blending good. Had to build it up a little bit, which is not bad. Not really too much fallout. Mostly just patting it in to get some of the color deposit in there, and then I'm blending. So far so good. I mean, I'm starting to see some splotchiness in here. It's weird, like it changes. The more you put on, the more you blend it out, like it does kind of change a little bit. But I mean, it's nothing that bad to me. I feel like we'll make it work. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, Berry Treasure. See how that one works. And that one is more like a, I don't know, it's almost like a black with purple and gold glitter reflexes. So that definitely has color payoff. It's a pretty shade. Very dark. I like it. Now let's see if we can get it to blend with everything. So that one's blending pretty well. Yeah, that one's blending pretty good. That's a nice shade. As you blend, those purple and gold little reflexes do kind of disappear, but it's okay. And I don't know, as we continue working on this side, this part right here, where we put that Mystic shade, is getting a little, it keeps getting darker, which is strange. So we're going to cut this side too, just so that way at least they look somewhat similar. Okay, so we cut that crease. I kind of want to take the shade right here, Gem, which is going to be totally out there, but I'm really interested to see how well that purple works. Purples are kind of hard, so I'm really excited to see if that one's going to work or not. And the color payoff on the brush is awesome. It's a little bit of a shimmer, so I'm still going to go in and spray it with my Fix Plus here. And again, we're just going to pat it. Yes, it works. It's got a good color payoff there. That's a really pretty purple. Yeah, it is so gorgeous. Yeah. So that one has a beautiful amount of payoff. Let's see, go in here and try to blend that together. This is just the same brush that we did the Berry Treasure on. Just gonna pat it on there. Now it's like kind of coming off from there. So I'm just gonna really pat it in right here. Not so much wipe it or anything to blend it out. I'm just gonna pat it in there. Yeah, so this side is definitely my favorite, more nicer side. I really love that color gem. And we're gonna go in with this shade right here called Ballsy, which again looks very similar to Bling Bling, but this one you can tell has more purpley pink reflex, whereas this one is just more like pinky iridescent. Let's see how it picks up on the eyes. Again, gonna spray it with the Fix Plus. That one is also very nice. There's some payoff there. Whereas this one's more iridescent. Like I said, more pink iridescent. This is more of a purple iridescent. Beautiful for getting that inner highlight pop. So all in all, I mean, I kind of want to go in with this shade right here, the Berry Treasure, and just try to fix this eye. Because like I said, that Mystic shade just wasn't that great. I mean, maybe I'll mix the two. So I'm going to mix Berry Treasure and Mystic together. But, you know, Berry Treasure is just going to overpower it that much more. I'm just going to lightly apply some there. And then I'm going to dip into Mystic, and hopefully that'll help blend it out. Okay, Mystic just doesn't want to show up at all. Right, so go back in with Rockstar. Rockstar is like a gorgeous color here. Alright, so I'm going to wipe off the setting powder. I'm going to finish up my under eye, do a wing, throw some lashes on, and then I'm going to come back and give my final thoughts. Alright, so final review. I finished the look off by doing a wing liner. I did my bottom waterline, which for this eye, I used the Vice eye pencil from Urban Decay, and on this side, I used just a regular black eye pencil. And then The weird thing was when I went to go smoke at the bottom of this eye, I went in with the shade Mystic and it blended out perfectly. The color was there, so it's a little iffy. So judging this palette alone, from a scale 1 to 10, I would give it a 7. All the shimmer shades, except for this one called Pizzazz, which we didn't really use, but I'm just gonna take some right here. You know, like I said, the color payoffs are there. They are different when you're using your finger versus a brush. You know, your finger has the oil, so of course it's gonna come off pretty nice, and it's gonna look shimmery and shiny as much as it does in the palette. But like I said, the only shade that threw me off that I didn't really like was the Mystic shade. It just kind of wasn't consistent. But like I said, if you can make it work, then go for it. Like I said, a 7 is not bad, and for a $15 palette, it's, you know, it's still a good deal. It just, like I said, takes a light hand, it takes some finessing, but all in all, I mean, I can't complain, especially this eye, which was my favorite. Purples are my favorite, so the color scheme was just beautiful. If you're interested in purchasing the vault as a whole, then I would wait after watching all 4 of the review videos. The next one I probably will be reviewing is Ring the Alarm, so stay tuned for that video, which will be coming next. If you're not already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel so that way you know when those videos are coming up. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. So yeah, hopefully this review helped you out, and I will catch you in the next video. So thanks for watching.